The first car I ever drove on the highway belonged to my dad. It was a 1959 Ford Fairlane. It was two-tone like the one in the picture. White top, black sides. I took my driver's test in this car with the power steering pump broken because I could not wait to get a driver's license. 1964 Mercury Montclair Marauder is similar to my stepfather's car. His was red. I used it sometimes in high school on dates. This car was very fast and dangerous to drive, as the power steering and brakes were very easy. It would smoke the tires. It had a 425 horsepower motor, and it took a serious car to outrun it. This 1960 Ford Falcon was a family car that belonged to my stepfather also. Ours was just like the picture. I drove it some as a teen. It had a 6-cylinder engine and automatic transmission. It was a slow car, and it would not squeal the tires, but it was a dependable car. 1963 Ford Galaxy convertible. My aunt owned this vehicle. It was just like the photo. I used this car a lot to drive to my first job at Disney World in 1971. This car was bulletproof, as I overheated it twice, ran it till it died on the road, came back in an hour with water, and the car would start and go on like nothing ever happened. This 1963 Rambler Ambassador was like Mom's car. Hers was a darker blue. I used it some to go to work at Disney, and it broke a brake cylinder on me one day on the road while coming home. I learned that day how to rebuild a brake cylinder. Also, the windshield wipers were unique because they ran off the engine vacuum. When you stepped on the gas, the wipers slowed down. When you let off the gas, they slapped back and forth at about twice the speed of today's cars. It was a smooth riding car. '61 Plymouth Fury. These were used as highway patrol police cars. Mine was white. This is the first car that I actually ever owned. My dad gave it to me. I drove it to work at Disney World, my first full-time job, till I wore it out. It was very fast because it had a Hemi engine in it. The second car I ever owned was a 1967 Oldsmobile F85. Mine was blue. It was a 6-cylinder, had a 3-speed on the column. Not many of these ever existed. I bought it off my stepfather, and I used it as a teenager. This was the fastest 6-cylinder car I ever drove. It would pull and outrun many V8s, and it was the king in its class. I used it till I wore it out. Then I sold it still running, but coughing smoke. 1967 Dodge Dart. Mine was burgundy with a white top, 6-cylinder engine, 3-speed on the column. This car was okay, but not fast. I bought this car from a used car dealer and drove it to work at Disney World until it died. I had the engine rebuilt, but it was never right, so I sold it after parking it for quite some time. A 1972 Chevy Impala 4-door. Mine was the champagne color with a 350 V8 AC AM FM radio. I bought it off my boss. It was equipped a first-class ride. I used it for years, and it took me on my honeymoon, and I traded it in on the first new car I ever owned. 1976 Toyota Corolla SR5 Sport Coupe. A very limited edition Corolla medium blue with a white top. Had a 4-cylinder engine, 4-speed, no AC. That was a mistake. A lot of fun to drive and bang the gears. Very dependable, went everywhere in it. This was my first new car. This 1959 English Ford Cortina wagon had 4 cylinders, 4-speed. Mine was dark blue. I bought it for a second car. Mine had panels, not windows, in the rear. There are no pictures exactly like it. I sold it because it was impossible to get parts for, and I couldn't keep it on the road. This was the predecessor of the Ford Pinto. 1971 Chevy Impala 4-door. Mine was white. It was wore out when I bought it. I bought it as a second car to use. It was a real rag. Had a V8 engine, automatic transmission. Did not run very well. I used it for a while, but it proved to be unreliable, so I sold it. 1980 Toyota station wagon. Mine was yellow like the picture, but it had wood grain panels like you see on a Jeep wagon. 4-cylinder engine, 4-speed transmission. After I had my first child, Vicky, we bought this new so that she would have room to grow. 1975 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Mine was dark blue, V8, had lots of power. I really liked this vehicle, but it was hard to get parts for as AMC sold Jeep to Ford, and there were not many in junkyards, so I sold the vehicle. I wish I would have kept this one. They are very collectible now. (1976) AMC Pacer 2-door, also a rare car. Burgundy with a white roof and white interior. There were not many 2-door Pacers made. The most basic of Pacers, it was a small 6-cylinder engine. It was iron tough. It had no AC. And it had rack and pinion steering that when it failed, I could not repair it. So the car ended up going to a junkyard. Still running and sounding good. 1973 Ford Fairlane 500. Mine was red top to bottom. Small V8. Automatic transmission. I bought it as a get-to-work special. It was worn out when I got it. I used it for about a half a year, and then I sold it. 1983 Chevy Cavalier wagon. Ours was a unique blue-gray mixture, 4-cylinder, automatic transmission with air conditioning. Slow and dumpy to drive. Cornered well, though. This vehicle was an accident magnet. We were in 3 accidents in less than a year. None was our fault. It was totaled in a head-on collision with a van, and everybody that was in my vehicle ended up with injuries. 1967 Mercury Cougar. Looked just like the one in the picture. 289, automatic transmission. A pony car for sure. A quick little car. It was used by my wife mostly as she fought to keep me out of it. She had an accident without insurance and we could not afford to fix it. So I sold it to my boss, who took a cutting torch to it and made a truck-type utility vehicle for work out of it. What a waste. 1963 Mercury Meteor 4-door. Had a 260 V8 automatic transmission. Mine was champagne color. This was a solid hunk of iron. Hit it with a ball bat, had no dent. Used it for a while, but engine was wore out and hard to start, and it smoked a lot. it was pulled away by the junkyard man. 1970 Chevelle SS two-door, medium blue, white top, and 2 racing stripes. My friend had rebuilt the engine just before I bought it. I used it for years. A great car that handled well. This car earned me the nickname Hole Shot. It was quick red light to red light racer for sure. I sold it. 1987 Chevrolet Malibu, V8, automatic transmission, AC. Ours was a bluish green in color. Bought it used from a car dealer. This car was dependable and a good ride, and I'll correct it here. It was a V6, not a V8. We used it for years. It was stolen out of our driveway one night and destroyed by the thief. Sold it because we could not repair it for the value. 1990 Ford Ranger pickup, 4-cylinder, 4-speed. Bought it new. Mine was white, and I added blue pinstriping. Decent vehicle, but engine used 3 quarts of oil between oil changes. Ford never would fix it right. Finally traded it for a full-size van, as the family needed a larger vehicle. 1981 Chevy Monte Carlo two-door, 350 V8 automatic transmission. Mine was white, but ugly when I bought it. It was a get-to-work special that I needed because of a knee surgery. After some repairs, it ran very well and it could get down the road in a hurry. Used it for a year as a fishing car to pull my boat. Sold it to a young man who restored it. Brought it by ever so often to show me the repairs he had made. It was looking good last time he showed me the car. He had painted it red. 1986 Ford Econoline conversion van, 351 V8 auto transmission. Ours was very similar to the picture. This was a comfortable way to ride a family around for sure. However, it was a gas guzzler. Got about 10 miles to the gallon on the road. I did not keep it long. This 1968 Ford F-150 pickup truck. Mine was rusty red, well used when I bought it, as a get-to-work special. It was also a V8 gas guzzler that was just rusting away. I did not keep it long. I gave it to my brother. 1985 and a 1986 Ford Tempo 4-door. Both vehicles were white and looked just like the picture. Bought off the local Ford dealer. First one developed transmission problems that the dealer could not identify and fix, so we traded for the second one. First one had a V6, the second one had a 4-cylinder. Both cars got about the same gas mileage, however. Finally sold it to my brother. 1985 Chrysler 5th Avenue 4-door. Mine was gray on gray. Bought it off my mother. A very dependable car that rode well and got you where you wanted to go. Had a small V8 under the hood and had all the bells and whistles, radios and air conditioning. Traded it in on a Dodge Ram van. The 1991 Dodge Ram conversion van, V6, automatic transmission, AC, AM/FM cassette radio. Mine was medium blue with blue or darker blue graphics. I bought it from a car dealer, and it had captain's chairs and conversion seating. Rear seat was also a bed. I loved this vehicle, and it was good to travel in. I had to sell it to get out from under the payments after I lost my job. 1984 Jeep Cherokee wagon. The color was solid tan, no wood grain like the picture. 6-cylinder, automatic transmission, 4x4. I bought this vehicle from my brother who needed the money. Never got it to run as strong as I thought it should. So I made some repairs and sold it. within 2 months of buying it. I owned it at the same time as the van, and I preferred the van. 1979 Chevy step-side van. Had a 6-cylinder, 4-speed stick shift. It was an all-aluminum body, and it made good gas mileage for its size. I used it to have a custom-built canvas business, a sewing machine inside, custom-built table to work on. I also used it to carry my lawnmower when I started a lawn mowing business. It was a mistake to sell this vehicle. 1994 Chevy Cavalier 2-door. Blue-green in color, rear spoiler really set off the car. V6 auto air, tape deck. Strong running car, cornered well, easy to maintain and dependable. Chevy had a good thing with the Cavalier till they started changing it. Traded vehicle in on Astro van I still owned. 1989 Chevy Blazer S10 2-door. Mine was solid blue. Dark. V6 auto. This was an okay ride. Very quick on takeoff, dependable and collectible. I bought it used from the owner. Interior was very good for the age of the vehicle. I sold it. 1986 Jeep Truck Comanche size. Tan color with stripes like picture. 6-cylinder engine. 4-speed transmission. Bought this as a work truck for the lawn business. Used it for a while and it developed a head gasket problem. I decided to donate it to a school as I did not want to repair it. This truck had the most solid frame system I ever saw on a small truck. 1997 Chevy Astro van, 7-passenger, just like the picture. V6 auto rear air, bought late model, used as a family vehicle, and later it became my work vehicle. Currently has more than 120,000 miles and still operates well. Had to have the transmission overhauled at around 80,000 miles. I still own this vehicle, and it has been a good one. 1986 Ford F-250 pickup. Mine was green, V8 4-speed transmission. I bought it used. I used it in my lawn business. It needed engine work after a while, so I sold it. 2000 Chevy Silverado pickup. V8 350 V8 automatic transmission. Mine looked just like the picture. I bought it new to use in the lawn business. This was a very strong truck that would get gone in a heartbeat. The gas mileage left a little bit to be desired, so after a while I traded it. 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Mine was green, 6-cylinder, automatic transmission, 4x4. Bought it as a late model used car from a dealer. Color matched my boat. This was my go-to-the-lake wagon. It was dependable and a good vehicle, and the 4-cylinder, or the 4x4 function, made it very easy to get a boat out of the wet boat ramp. 2001 Kia Optima 4-door, 4-cylinder automatic transmission. The one that I had looked just like the picture. I bought it new, brand new. I was attracted to the 100,000 mile warranty. It gave me good service and had some minor problems that are common to small engine cars. I would consider another Kia, but they have grown expensive in their pricing. Lost the vehicle when the timing belts broke and ruined the engine. Bought a 2015 Versa Note, picture shown with me, was red. Attracted to the car because of the gas mileage. I thought the wife would use it mostly. Quickly found out the car was too small and there was not really enough room for me to sit in it comfortable. Owned the car for less than 2 months, traded it in. 2015 Nissan Altima S. Primary family vehicle now. Runs well, works well. Haven't been disappointed with this vehicle yet. Would recommend it. Also included is a picture of a 1955 Studebaker. Hawk, I think it was. My brother told me that I drove it one day when my stepfather got it started. I don't remember driving it, but I think my stepbrother drove it. We drove it around a little bit. It was impossible to get parts for to keep it fixed up, so my stepfather ended up selling it. So far, that's the history of Ed in cars.